Hello. Good evening once again and welcome to Minority Caucus. I bet that most of you are waiting to listen to what it is that we have to say today. Today is Black Monday for the NPP. It was Integration Day for the whole of Ghana, and welcome to Minority Caucus. My name is Nana Kofi Opon Damo, and today we are discussing NPP's way forward. We are still contesting the election results and we are awaiting the Supreme Court's final pronouncement on this matter. In the meantime, the President, John Dramani Mahama, has been sworn in as President of the Republic of Ghana under what we consider to be a stolen mandate. What is the way forward for the NPP? With me to discuss these matters are two very eloquent members of the Young Patriots. Mr. Richard Nyama, Chairman of the Young Patriots. Welcome, boss.
Thank you.
And Uncle Fred, welcome to my show.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, there's a lot that has happened today, and believe me, it's a lot. But what we are going to do today is stick to the issues. First of all, I believe that a lot of Ghanaians want to find us. I'll start with you, Fred. How does this swearing-in action of the president affect the court case of the NPP?
Thank you very much, Nana, and good evening to our listeners and viewers. It shouldn't affect the court case in any way. The swearing in of the president should not in any way affect the court case. It should go ahead. In fact, if you permit me, Article 64 of the Constitution states clearly, Article 64(2) states that a declaration by the Supreme Court that the election of the president is not valid shall be without prejudice to anything done by the president before the declaration. So, swearing in is one of the things the president had done. So, if the Supreme Court so decide that the election of the president was invalid, then whatever he had done prior to that declaration is also null and void. Okay. So, Ghanaians should be rest assured, especially members of the public who voted massively for the mandate of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That mandate was stolen. Should be rest assured that the Constitution is on our side, and if the Supreme Court so decide that the election of the president is invalid, then whatever he would have done prior to that declaration also becomes invalid.
Okay, Richard, he holds the opinion that, it doesn't matter. Some people are very worried. We've received a lot of, I have, and I believe that you've all received a lot of calls about the fact that people are worried. They are saying that once he's sworn in, that is the end of the matter. We should have gone to seek a court injunction. What is your take on all of this?
Thank you very much, Anna. That shambolic swearing in, I felt embarrassed, to be frank with you. And you could see the effort to try and convince Ghanaians and the whole world that the president is legitimate. Right from the word go. Okay, the president started going on route marches with the army. I don't know whether he's under security threat or what, to display the military might of this country to the whole world. You saw him running virtually with the security forces. He went and gave some sort of a speech at the Elwak Stadium. All military gear were on display. I think he needed some confidence. Then what happens? He goes to Parliament, State of the Nation. 15 minutes, he's done. He's running to go, I don't know. The swearing in is all hurriedly done. My point is the president has 4 years to rule. Where is he in a hurry to? Then the whole process starts. You have old men lined up, one after the other, to climb the days to go and say hello and hug the president. So that the whole world can see that, oh yes, we love this man, we have come to help him be sworn in. 10 of them or thereabout. You had Yaya Boni read something to the effect that the elections was legitimate.
You may be as wise as Kingdom Solomon.
I beg his pardon. He should mind his own business in Benin. Seriously. Because the way some of them are going and are beginning to be partisan, we, at a point, if they go on that tangent, will not have anything to do with them because they have lost credibility in our eyes. But for me, you mark my word, tomorrow you would see pictures on the front pages of presidents hugging President Mahama. the president himself is lacking confidence and he's struggling to be recognized internationally. The U.S. sends a delegation that is not even up to a deputy secretary to his inauguration. That is telling for them, and they should note it. They did all they could to get President Kufuor to where to the event. It is President Kufuor's personal decision. But some party youth went there and also protested. So the NDC cannot even come out and play propaganda with that because it doesn't wash. President Kufuor was there on his own accord. But you know what? In all this, when I heard the president's speech, I was embarrassed. Talking about Fanan Dopo and Tete Kwashi and how Koko arrived in Ghana and then finally getting shown, and I couldn't make a head and tail of it. This is your speech defining your movement as president. And what are you giving me? Science 7 book reading about how Koko got to Ghana and how an individual affects the destiny of the nation. An individual's ambitions can also bring a nation down. Just like in his case. Though Tete Kwashi is bringing Ghana up, you want to bring us down because by all possible means you want to be president.
Okay, so the point is that so far as you are concerned, if I get it right, this swearing-in ceremony does in no way affect the court case of the NPP in court.
Absolutely no way does it affect it. And even the process they took was embarrassing and shambolic.
Okay. Now, again, Richard, assuming that the Supreme Court makes a pronouncement to the effect that the election of the president was invalid, what then happens?
He has to vacate the office with his group of ministers and General State Secretary who kind of, I don't know, he thinks he's the only guy in town. We tell them when the time is up and the Supreme Court declares in favor of the NPP, he should not dare because he will see the other men in town. Seriously. But this is his movement. He should enjoy it. They would vacate that seat and the NDC and President John Mahama should not make a mistake not to accept the decision of the Supreme Court, because there are efforts, and if there have been a series of events, and if you grant me a moment to which display that they are not ready to give in, and I dare the NDC, especially the General Secretary, if he says they believe in democracy, they should make a public statement to the effect that they would accept it, because so far they haven't. James Ajenim Boateng, who is the official spokesperson for the transition team, when he was interviewed on BBC, refused. The gentleman was asked 3 times. He refused to answer that question. A couple of days later, belligerent General Mosquito is on the airwaves, ranting and raving. And his apologies, Kwesi Pratt, all making the same argument that the NPP is positioning itself for power sharing. We do not need power for the sake of power. We need power to develop this country and let people see the difference between us and you. We are not greedy bastards trying to fill our bellies. Some are eating and not even getting full. Okay. And you're not seeing it on them. They make this position, then the next day, Mr. Bernard Mona, PNC, who has no locus when it comes to this issue between NDC, NPP, and the EC, runs there seeking some reliefs. Reliefs that he should have sought when he was contesting. You are talking of no biometric, no vote being struck out. After that process has been used. Are you serious? And then his lawyer, Dr. Atubga, is talking about the provision as it stands now not allowing for a review. So that if NPP went to court today and there was a ruling in our favor, there was not going to be a review, and that will be the end of it. Okay. Now, that action alone tells you that the gentlemen in the first place believe they are going to lose. They are there Mona's this thing is to put some spokes in the wheels and stop the process and slow it down. They have gone there now. They are supposed legal luminary. Chikata is leading them or the president in the court. When General Mosquito had the infantry to tell NPP that we are blockheads and that we did not know that a president cannot be sued. If the president cannot be sued, what are you doing in court?
Okay, all right. So if that is it, Fred, what is your opinion? Immediately assuming that the Supreme Court pronounces that the election of the president is invalid, what then happens?
The president must vacate the seat of government immediately. In fact, you see, he has no business being there in the first instance. But whatever position we find ourselves as a country now, if the Supreme Court so declare that the position of the election of the president is invalid, what would the president be doing? It means that he has no legitimacy being there, and so he must vacate. And at that point, I shudder to think that anything else can happen, because see, we believe in peace, but we believe that there can be no peace without justice. And we are seeking for justice. Look, if this country had been any other African country, the country would have been in flames. To steal the mandate of the people of a country is the highest treason anybody can prefer on the country. And so I think that Ghanaians should not be too worried. Members of the public who went to vote should not be too worried. The rules of engagement are so clear that should the Supreme Court so say that the election of the president is invalid, even with the swearing in, it doesn't change anything. Okay. He was sworn in by the status quo that the Electoral Commission has so declared him having supposedly won 50 plus 1% of the valid vote. And if it comes out that he did not win 50 plus 1 vote of Ghanaians, what will be his mandate? That he has no legitimacy to be there.
Okay.
And that's exactly what is going to happen.
Okay.
Well, we are law-abiding. I hope that the NDC is also law-abiding. They have chickened out from coming out to declare that should the declaration of the Supreme Court not go in their favor, they would respect it.
Okay.
They have not said anything like that. While the NPP we are making every effort to ensure that we get the necessary evidence to prove to the court that yes, these elections were stolen, and so believe that the Supreme Court judges will declare in our favor. We are saying that we are ready when justice will be done, okay. And justice will surely be done when the Supreme Court judges make their pronouncements.
Okay, there are 2 points of notice that each Ghanaian must be aware of. First of all, should the Supreme Court pronounce immediately that the election or the supposed election of the president was invalid, there is no need for any special ceremony. The moment the election of the president is declared invalid, he ceases to be president.
Nana, I told you. I just said that he would have no business being there and immediately must vacate.
Okay. Number 2, the case that Mr. Bernard Mona has gone to the Supreme Court for adjudication on, the case against CI-74, it's interesting because after he took the case to court, he was interviewed. And his argument was that no verification, no vote is illegal. Interestingly, CI-74 has nothing to do with that point.
Yes.
So Mr. Bernard Mona does not know the case he has sent to court. That is important for us to register. I have here a copy of CI-74. Now, if I don't know if the cameraman can home in on this, but if it can be done, you can all read clearly what CI-74 is about. CI-74 deals with nothing but the Supreme Court amendment of the rules regarding the adjudication of elections. That's what CI-74 does. Now, it says that Supreme Court Amendment Rules 2012, CI-74. This has nothing whatsoever to do with biometric verification, no verification. It has nothing to do with that. So again, Mr. Bernard Mona, I know you're listening to us or you're watching us. Please come again and stop this very, disgraceful thing that you're doing.
Some people want to make themselves relevant in the scheme of things. But Mona went seeking to get elected. And what did he get? His own constituency. A lot of cases where no verification, no vote. And people voted even without verification. What did he do? Did he challenge it? Why is he in court now? Well, what is he seeking to achieve? He just wants to make himself relevant. And you say, the apologies of the NDC, what they intend doing is to frustrate the efforts of the Supreme Court, to make sure that, well, it is delayed as long as possible so that the term of the elected president would pass. But they should be assured, the judges of the Supreme Court cannot be taken for a ride. Not this time, because the rules are so clear. And they shouldn't delude themselves into thinking that, I mean, because they want to stampede the Supreme Court, they can get away with it. The evidence are so overwhelming that, Nana, you would be shocked to look at the fraud that were perpetrated on the people of this country. And if we sit down unconcerned, look, posterity will not forgive us. And I dare the NDC to come out and make these pronouncements that, yes, they respect the rule of engagement, they respect the rule of law, and that they will abide by the decision of the Supreme Court should it not go in their favor. The president's position now is because he had been declared winner by popular vote, 50% and plus one. If the Supreme Court, and per the calculations and the evidence that's available to us now, so declare, now I'm assuring you that the swearing in and everything else, in fact, the declaration of the Electoral Commission itself will become invalid. And that declaration now went on to make the president, to allow the president to be sworn in. So if that is not valid, I mean, look, if the basis is wrong, whatever you build on is wrong.
Okay.
And so
Richard,
we have to throw
I want us
everything to the back.
box in two issues and deal with it at once. Number one, there's a notion out there that the NPP has been too soft about this matter. We contend that we are obeying the rule of law. Number two, there's this idea out there that, you know, if it happens, do we believe that the NDC would easily give up power? And you see, this stems from the notion that they have cultivated, that they are not going to easily surrender power once they've been sworn in. Two issues.
Kofi, thank you very much for bringing this issue up. Look, I share those sentiments. Some of us, before God and man, are boiling inside. There is too much restraint on us, and it's beginning to frustrate us. Our leadership, we are democratic, we are beginning to look like the chameleon. For Christ's sake, the people we are contending with, if they were on the side on which we are, would not know what we are doing. This country would not be where it is today. Because when nothing near this happened, they wore dresses and marched on the EC. And Afarijan, being weak as he is, chickened and ruled for them. We are telling him and them, seriously, and at the point, if the party is going to go that mua way in quotes, we, the youth, will not accept it.
But Richard, this is what the rule of law says.
Rule of law, oh yes, but why should we be restrained on demonstrating? Why should we be restrained from getting on the streets? People want to reasonably put their frustrations out there and let them burn it out. Sometimes it's worth it. Let him display it and let the anger get out of him. And yet you are restrained, you start the process, and then you get it announced that will stop. I do not know any democracy that has been properly built on just talking. And that if we want this and want it properly, we need to send the message out there clearly. The Supreme Court, for Christ's sake, we are saying yes, we respect the Supreme Court with the judges and blah, 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 blah. Please, let's stop the big talk. The reality is this. If we go out there and justice, the evidence is brought out and we do not have justice, what the Supreme Court fears the NDC can do, they should trust us we can equally do. They should trust us we can equally do.
Now we are beginning to foray into a very, very dangerous arena. I think that, as a youth myself as well, what we have done is that we have shown clearly that an African nation is capable of respecting its own rules and regulations as laid down in the Constitution and other subservient laws that come up. It's a difficult position, and I understand. That's why I like the fact that Mr. Richard Nyama himself is here. It's a very, very difficult position. I have seen people who have come and expressed so much frustration at everything. we've nearly been beaten up and all of that. But we need to let the people also know that what we are doing is what is right. That's the critical thing. But I think also that what you have said is key, that the NDC has to come out and assure the people of Ghana that whatever ruling comes out of the Supreme Court, they will abide by it. It's very critical. It's very necessary. Let's also stop trying to create the impression that by going to the Supreme Court, the only thing that the NPP seeks to do is to embarrass the president. Fred, I find it strange that the NDC is seemingly not concerned about the integrity of our elections. Again, they've not been able to raise any question about the substance of our case. Rather, they say we are trying to embarrass the president. Is the president more important than the nation?
No, not at all. I don't think so. I think the president is a president because the people of Ghana would have decided that, yes, we want you to be a president. And if we're disgracing the president, how are we disgracing the president? And you see, this dovetails into the frustration Mr. Nyama is talking about, where the youth is not allowed to as it were, not go on rampage, but at least legitimate demonstration should be allowed in democracy. We cannot think that if what we are doing is following the rule of law, it should in any way be counted as disgracing the president. Nobody intends to disgrace the president. In fact, if for anything at all, we are respecting the presidency. We are respecting the sanctity of the presidency. That is why we want to go through the legal means to get adjudication and make sure that we have the law on our side. And so, for me, if the NDC would want to come to the table, not with fact, not to shoot down the evidence, the overwhelming evidence that we have presented, and they have the same evidence at their disposal. In fact, the NDC is aware that they have rigged the election. They know what they have done. So instead of talking to the substance of the issue, they are now talking about extraneous issues like disgracing the president. How could you say that legitimate action of a party that has lost an election in such bizarre circumstance is a disgrace to the president? If it's a disgrace to the president, then it's a tacit admission, Nana, that they have done something untoward to the people of this country. The integrity of our election is questionable, and therefore, if anything should come out that, yes, the president stole the election, the electoral commissioner stole the election for the president, that is when it will be a disgrace. So if they know they have legitimacy of the people of this country, why should this process lead to a disgrace? It should rather enhance his image.
Okay.
I mean, if it comes out that, look, the president won on his own merit and that there had not been any quote and unquote clue in the election, the counting of the election and the declaration of the election, there should be no disgrace here. We are only following legitimate means of addressing our grievances to the people of this country.
We are only following the legitimate means for addressing grievances built up in our democratic institutions as a nation, Ghana. We'll take our first break now and come back to continue. Welcome back to Minority Caucus. Today we are discussing the NPP's way forward. The president has been sworn in, though the NPP continues to contest the results of the election. So what is the way forward for the NPP? We first of all established that this swearing in does in no way affect the court case that lies before the Supreme Court. And also that we will continue to pursue it, and at the end of the day, we believe that the Supreme Court will give the rightful ruling. But today, young patriots received a letter from the police of Ghana. First of all, Richard, tell us about what it is that you were intending to do that caused this letter to come. I just want, what is it that you were trying to do before this letter came?
Thank you very much. One was to let Ghanaians know our views on the swearing in of the president and all the sham that took place, the window dressing that they did to impress the people of Ghana and the world at large. Mind you, if you go to the international media scene, the news is not about the inauguration of the president. It's actually about the boycott of the inauguration by the opposition. So they are aware. We're going to highlight that. We're going to try and put some of the evidence, not all of it, out for Ghanaians to see that we're not just mouthing. There is solid evidence. As you and I speak, I came from the Upper West region late last week. And I can confidently tell you that the NDC are now collating their resource because I saw it. They are also, after all that General Mosquito did, all the pam he did, they are now going around to also put their resource together. So we're going to put all those things out and demand justice. Because look, when you sit down and then you think that you're going through all the processes, okay, and then someone is sitting somewhere in the comfort of his office and thinks the status quo should remain, you'll be shocked because you get there and they feel that, look, these guys, they are cowards, they are quiet, let's forget of them because the other side, we know them.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So we're going to put all these out, but somehow the police frustrated us from the word go, and Kofi, believe me, to the point of trying to take our lives. Okay.
Now, I have in front of me a letter, and as you can clearly see, this is the Ghana Police's insignia, and I'm going to read it to all of you, so you make up your minds for it. The reference is ARHQ, dated 7th of January 2013. It stores the Director of Operations, Young Patriots New Patriotic Party, Accra, and headline, RE Letter of Notification, the Azan 1.3 million votes demonstration. Your letter dated 2nd January 2013 on the above subject refers to the matter. And it reads that, I am directed by the Accra Regional Police Commander to serve you with the attached restraining order from the Circuit Court, Accra. The order is to restrain you from embarking on your intended demonstration for Tuesday, 8th January 2013. Acknowledge receipt for strict compliance. Commander of Police, Mr. Eric Asiedu, DSP and staff officer. And you can see attached clearly the restraining order that was sought. It is important to note that the police actually did go to court to seek this restraining order. The police actually went to court to seek this restraining order. As you can see clearly, it is signed by, okay, I'll leave that information out for now. But it says that it is hereby ordered that the Young Patriots New Patriotic Party are hereby restrained from carrying out their demonstration on the 8th of January 2013. The court further orders that the event be postponed to a date beyond January 9th, 2013 to allow the deployed police personnel to complete their assigned functions related to the negotiation ceremony, blah, 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 blah. Fred, on reading this, my first impression was, oh, they're just trying to ensure that the dignitaries get out of the country before we demonstrate.
Well, that also goes to buttress the point you raised earlier, that they think that a president will be disgraced. I mean, demonstrating is a legitimate right of every democratic institution, country. The people of a country that is governed by democracy should have the right to demonstrate. I mean, procession, peaceful demonstration is a right. It's enshrined in our constitution. And there's no time bar that because dignitaries are in the country, you cannot demonstrate. There's nowhere in any law that says that.
But for me as well, what is interesting is that if you are saying that because police have been deployed for inauguration ceremonies, you cannot find the men to protect us, then what if we have a major crisis around the same time?
Now, you know what? When we went to the police command to negotiate our time and route, they agreed that yes, it's our right. They agreed that yes, we have to give them notification, 5 clear days notification. We did that. The letter that was sent to the police was dated for 2nd January, and that same day we delivered the letter to them. They acknowledged receipt of the letter. Look, but somehow you see that there's an unseen hand somewhere trying to manipulate even the Ghana Police Service.
The hand of sleight.
Look, this is the police states we are gradually being introduced to. Why should Ghanaians be denied of a legitimate demonstration? Why should we? Because somebody will be disgraced? Look, I even thought that if the dignitaries had come to witness that, yes, we have a democracy going in Ghana and people are free to demonstrate, it's a feather in our cap. Why are we being stopped? And they went further to state that if we do not agree and go on, we should go on. We should go ahead and do it without their protection because we actually don't need police protection. If we can have a peaceful demonstration, we need to inform them. They need to protect us. Anyway, in fact, the protection of the police should not come in when we are demonstrating. It should come in on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute basis. We must be protected at all times, not when we are demonstrating. All right? So why is somebody thinking that something untoward should happen?
Fred, let me bring in Richard at this stage. And then, Richard, I want you to look at what happened after the election results were declared. For example, the police tactic that was deployed on the NPP Research Center, the breaking of Madame Akufo's offices that was directly opposite a police station, and now this. Police state tactics?
Kofi, I don't know. This country, but it ties into the persona of the president. It's him and no one else. People, I'm sure with time, will get to know the real John Mahama. Like he said, this injunction that you're holding was secured under 2 hours. And this, I can tell you on authority because the regional PRO, Freeman Tete, was on Hot FM. And he was asked, was the demonstration going to take place tomorrow or not? He asked them to give him 2 hours and that he will get back to us. Our intelligence within the police service pointed to the fact that the IGP had to step in and ensure that within the shortest possible time we served the writ. I think initially they thought that we just riffraffs, we're making noise and that would be the end of it. But they picked intelligence because a couple of days ago, myself and Fred, we had the young Peters, we did all our meetings and organizations in the night, various points. We had the one in Tema, we were coming back to Accra around 10 in the night. This huge V8 crosses us, even in the outer lane, attempts braking with somersault, a brand new car is gone. But fortunately, God is alive. Those of them who are into occultism and they think they derive their power from occultism, we derive our power from one God, the Almighty. Nothing happened to us. We are sitting here unscathed. There's nothing, not a scratch. The fight is going on. The point is, within 2 hours, the injunction was granted.
Restraining order.
Yes. And the order, we served this about 4:30, some 2-3 hours ago. We had put in preparations. I can tell you on authority that those in Bro and Hafo had actually departed and they were coming. But I think after picking their intelligence, they realized they had issues to contend with. Because initially they gave us permission, if you can do it on your own, go. The only condition they gave us is that if Oko van der Poel comes and complains about we not taking any permission from him to use Obrasport or any other public place, they will have us, the leadership, arrested. We said, yes, we will do it. We have done 5 demonstrations in 2012. Nothing happened. Not as an accident. So this will be no issue. Then they realized we had called their bluff. We were actually going on and it was going to be big. So what do? Within a twinkle of an eye, they service this on us within a few minutes for us to go because, look, the demonstration starts around 12 because by then people would have started moving towards the place. Look, come to think of it, like you indicated, I was at the coalition center when they came in commando style and knocked everybody on the ground and pointed guns at us.
People's heads.
Yeah.
Yes. That was scary.
Yeah, it was.
Look, they are scaring and more interesting times ahead. Let's not kid ourselves.
You know what is interesting is Madame Akufo's office, because you need to understand that even before you get into that office, you need to input your biometric data. The door opens only after your fingerprints are being picked, and the security system knows those people who are allowed into the building. Number 2 is that it's not just on the ground floor; it's way up. Number 3, it's directly opposite a police station.
Yeah, they wouldn't see it because it has to do with NPP. And you know what, Nana? They go on. Look, let's not take what happened a few days ago with the president marching with the security. He needed confidence from them that everything is okay. So the police bosses are with him. they are marching on the streets, there is rapport.
Could that be because they lost the special voting?
They did. And apart from that, they themselves are not feeling secured in their own skin because they know what they have done. And so I think somehow their own shadow is hunting them.
Yeah.
Yes. And so they kind of feel, look, this security man, are they actually protecting me or something? Their own shadow is chasing them. So they need to get them to do these sort of things. But for the police hierarchy to tell young patriots that when we do this, and I am saying this on authority, that we will be embarrassing the president if we do the demonstration on 8th, because the foreign dignitaries will still be in Ghana. What has the president got to hide? You are president in the first place.
Unbelievable.
Why are you afraid? If you are that democratic, we going on the demonstration should actually be a feather in your cap. Because they will say, look, this man is being sworn in and he's allowed these people to do all this. They do not see that.
Yeah.
And yet they stopped us. But you know what? A bigger one is going to come. Tomorrow we are going to hold a press conference at the party headquarters, 10 a.m. All party faithfuls, you are allowed to come. This is our party headquarters. We are doing a press conference. We'll put all the vaccination.
Black and red, or is there any?
Oh yeah. I'm in my black. We are mourning. We are mourning our stolen votes. So we will come there and please, we'll spell out all that John Mahama didn't want the world to hear. I'm sorry for him. We'll put it out there, including the 1.5 million, 1.5 tons of gold that has been carted illegally and thanks to the Turkish government has been stopped in Turkey. We'll put things out there. The stealing that went on before, during and after. And those who are responsible, they should please, fortunately some of them have gotten themselves a way out. But please, the will of the people will not be taken for granted.
The will of the people will not definitely be taken for granted. We'll take our second break at this point and come back to continue with a very interesting discussion. Welcome back. You can join the discussion on the NPP's way forward via the phone line 030-2211-7013-4. I repeat again, 030-2211-7013-4. The text lines, as always, have remained 1760, all networks. We've been discussing the NPP's way forward. First of all, let's recapture just a couple of the points. That what has happened today in no way affects the case of the NPP before the Supreme Court. I've been informed that I've been joined by Mr. Eric from Odumase Krobo. Are you there, sir? Eric from Odumase. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think I just listened to the panel who are on the show, and I think these people are just making wasting people's time. I mean, the thing being sent to court, I expect that as people who claim to be the capital, should just wait to come out from the court. I think that should be the best way. To say that you are going to embarrass Mills, Mama, sorry. I think the white people, the best that even supervise the thing, even gives credit to the election that went on. So if you said the dignitaries are here, so you are going to demonstrate to, embarrass Mama, I think you are out of point. So, this will not work. The voice of people is the voice of God, and nothing that you can do to change it.
Okay. We have a peer from Kintampo. Hello?
Nana.
Yes, boss.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Apia calling from Kintampo.
Welcome.
Jima. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nana. You are doing great.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
Yes. We want you to continue for us. Even Kintampo South here, we knew that they stole our votes. They did that. They did it. Because after the collation of the presidential votes, the total vote cast and the presidential vote didn't tell. I was at the collation center of the leading of the NPP team. I asked them to do the recounting and they refused. because the Electoral Commission, the woman told me that they were in hurry to declare the result. Look at all this. So no. So you people should do well to forward the case to the Supreme Court so that our stolen verdict will be given back to us.
We are seriously working on that. Thank you too very much for your contribution. We have someone from Bolga Atta. Daniel.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss.
My name is Asa Daniel, calling for Bolga.
Yes, sir.
And the student of Bogataka Polytechnic.
Yes, Chief.
In fact, it's very, very unfortunate, and it aches my heart every time I think about the outcome of the results and how point blank the AC could just declare declare the election in favor of the NDC. It's very heartbreaking, and I know Ghanaians are really well inside, and they are praying to the Almighty God that God should intervene so that the verdict of the court should, be on the favor of the NPP.
Okay.
Because if you look at this this vote that has just been intentionally conveyed to the NDC, it's something that's so clear. The layman will even know that yes, this time was Nanado's time.
Okay.
For that matter, I just want you guys to continue educating and informing us, especially people at the grassroots level, so that we can also have some grounds. So that in terms of discussions or issues like what is going on, at least you can also have some points to stand on to.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Fatal from Bolibamboy. Fatal.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Chief.
I saw that what people are doing is unfortunate, and it will not help us. These elections, I think every party was having a representative at the zero polling station. So what comes, and you see, the problem is people are laying are so numerous that you cannot understand.
Fatal.
You say
Fatal.
good numbers.
Fatal.
Yes.
Okay. You've just raised a very, very important issue, and I think that it is important we address some of these matters because people like you do not understand them. Can I answer you?
You go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. What you are saying is that we had representatives at the polling station level, and so it does not make sense that we should say the elections have been rigged, if I get you right. Our understanding of this case is that you are saying that because we were not vigilant, we should not complain. Fatal. This means that if I come into your house and I steal your television set, and the next day you find me in the market with the same television set, attempting to sell it, you can say that because you were not vigilant enough for me to take your television set, you should not report me to the police. It also means that if you have a car and I take your car from you in the streets and drive it away, and you see me with the same car, you are not going to report me to the police and ensure that justice is served because you were not vigilant enough to protect yourself and your car. Do you understand me? Fatal. Okay.
You see, let's even look at the parliamentary seat.
No.
And every election.
That's okay.
Look,
that's okay. Fatal. Hello? Okay, Charles from Kintampo. Yeah, Charles?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Charles, can you turn down the volume on your television set, please?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Nana, how are you?
I'm very fine, sir. And you?
Yeah, I'm also fine. Yeah, I can see that you are not happy. Hello?
Yeah, Charles, I'm listening.
I can see that you are not happy.
I'm having a minor headache, but it's okay.
Oh, don't worry. Everything will be okay. You know something?
Yeah.
If you people you go and sleep at the Supreme Court, I think that will help you people.
Okay.
That will help you people. You can go and sleep at the Supreme Court for 5 days, 10 days.
Hello? Okay. It is important for all of us to know that we of the NPP encourage divergent opinions on our shows, whatever platform it is that we are given. We believe that some people have become consumers of the propaganda that our opponents seek to put out there into the public domain. Propaganda in communication serves just one purpose: noise. They seek to confuse the matters so that the ordinary Ghanaian cannot understand the simple things that we are putting out there in the public domain. Please, feel free. Bring your questions and we will answer each and every one of them. For us, this is not a battle that man will fight. The battle remains the Lord's. The lies can prevail for a period of time, but by the morning, our Lord will reign and speak. Fred, let's close up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nana, I want to tell Ghanaians once again that the swearing in of the president does not and would not affect the outcome of the declaration by the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court so declare that the election of the president was invalid and is still invalid, then the president will have no legitimacy and will have to vacate. There will be no deswearing in. You get what I'm saying? He has been sworn in. There will be no deswearing in. He will just have to pack bag and baggage and leave the scene for the legitimate person to be sworn in again by the Chief Justice. So we are following the due process of the law. We are believers of democracy. We think that it is not by cutting heads that will give us victory. We believe that if we go through what the Constitution has mandated us to do, taking a petition to the Supreme Court 21 days after the declaration of the results, if we so feel that it was not done legitimately, that is exactly what we are doing. And so Ghanaians must be rest assured that we are not going to relent on our effort to make sure that justice is served. But yes, it is peace we want, but we cannot have peace if there is no justice. We are seeking nothing but justice from the judges of the Supreme Court.
And that's that.
And that's that.
Mr. Nyama.
Peace.
Briefly.
Peace begots justice. And we have not been stopped. Young patriots have not been stopped. In actual fact, the police had to go their length and breadth of this country, rein all powers that be in to get what they have done. We assure them. We assure every Ghanaian voter who feels cheated and whose vote has been taken away from them. We will put one person at least to represent all the vote that or the votes that have been taken out of this country on the streets. So they should rest assured. Within the next few days, further plans as to put in some 1.3 million people like never before in the history of this country will happen. And we hope that that time the police will not have any other excuse to give us because they have run out of excuses. Their days are numbered and the victory is at the door. We are going for it.
Nobody can stop the will of the people. Yes, indeed, the voice of the people is the voice of God. And woe betides any man that wants to stop the voice of God. The NPP still remains committed to peace in this country. We're still saying that it is a battle for our good God to fight. My name is Nana Kofi Opondama. Find me, talk to me, we'll address all your concerns. And those who are doing the propaganda, please, for your own integrity, stop it. Bye-bye.